Let me catch my breath. Hi guys, did you guys hear that intro? Do you love it? Because I love it. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. It took us 16 episodes to get one? So it's a long time coming, but this podcast is officially this podcast, this podcast is my baby, but this podcast feels like it feels so official now. You know what I mean? Like when the first time I saw it on Spotify, I was like, oh my God, I actually have a podcast. That's wild. But now when I click on it to listen to it and I hear that intro, I'm just like, wow, this is like a real podcast. That's so crazy. Not that I, didn't think it was before, but it's just, I feel like we've taken it to a whole new level now. And that's crazy. This is my little baby. Shout out to Zoe Marie for helping me with the intro that you guys just heard and the outro that you guys will hear at the end of this episode. I had no idea what I wanted the intro to even sound like. But she went in my brain and pulled out what I didn't know was there, and she just used it. She was amazing. I'm going to plug all of her music at the end of the episode. So just listen out for that, and please go listen to her music because you'll love her. Okay, guys, let's start the episode. I do want to apologize for my voice. I'm in the middle of trying not to get sick. You guys know when you have a crazy weekend or a fun weekend or a festival, concert, whatever, and then you wake up the next morning and your throat's a little dry, and then the next day your throat's not dry but it's getting hard to swallow, and you feel like you need a ginger ale to scratch the back of your throat, and you're like, oh fuck, this seems like the beginning of the end. So I'm at that point right now. I'm not sick. It's not in my sinuses yet, but it's definitely in my throat. Pause. And I just don't want it to progress. So I've been, drinking hella tea, and I'm trying not to raise my voice, even though I know every episode I be screaming because I'm just so passionate about what I talk about. Okay, so the first thing I do want to talk about, you guys, is something that I've been thinking about really. And, for some reason in the media today, there's a whole bunch of relationships going on, and marriages and breakups, and who should break up and who should be together. And as you guys know, I'm purposely single, even though, like everybody, I have those nights where I want to be booed up. I want to be loved up, maybe choked and, Anyway, so I am single because I want to be. But I had this thought about when people get married, before people get married or before people enter a really serious relationship, do you guys, or do they ever lay out all of their non-negotiables? And I feel like people, when they lay out their non-negotiables, they try really hard to not seem shallow with them, even though I think those non-negotiables are the ones that you should name first. So I thought it would be fun to name and also ask you guys, ladies and gentlemen and anyone in between, what are your regular relationship non-negotiables? And I think we're going to do friendship. I think we're going to do romantic and platonic. So what are your regular romantic relationship non-negotiables, and what are your shallow romantic non-negotiables? I'll go first, but please, I want to know, please, if you're listening to this, please find a comment section and let me know, because I need to know. If you're on TikTok listening to this, make a duet, because I need to know. Okay, so I'm gonna go first. My regular relationship non-negotiables for anything romantic or serious like that would have to be, if you know me personally, which is something else I'm going to get into a tangent about later, you know that I am not a fan of children. I'm not a fan of the thought of having my own children. I'm not really a fan of anybody else's children. Children have, even when I was a child, children have always made me a little bit uncomfortable. And there would never be anything or anyone that would make me, it's so number one that there is no amount of anything that would make me consider dating a man or a woman that has one or more children. Because it's not the fact that I don't care about baby mama drama. I don't care about baby daddy drama. I truly don't. It's the child in itself. And I've been presented with many suitors that do have children, and I have to immediately cut it off right there at the bone, like right at the joint. I'm just like, oh, no, sorry, that's it. You don't even have to tell me what you do for a living. I don't care how many cars you got. I don't like children, and I don't want to have to meet your child. Like, I don't care about your child. And I know that sounds fucked up, and all the people who have children are listening to this like, goddamn, bitch, it's okay. We aren't ever going to be in a romantic relationship. I would love a platonic relationship. I'll meet anybody's kids in a platonic relationship. But as far as romantic, relationships go, I don't want to have to muster up this part of myself that I know is fake to meet a child that I know I don't care about. You know what I mean? I know that sounds bad. Oh my God, the child didn't do anything but be born. I didn't do anything either. Exactly. He didn't do anything. Why should he have to meet somebody who doesn't fuck with him? You know what I mean? So I know that sounded bad, but I just cannot do a child. I can't. And plus, it's just, having a child and being a parent is already, it comes with so much. And the reason I don't want to have kids, one of the reasons I don't have kids now or don't plan to have kids is because of my individuality. Like I've said before, if I was ever that deep and that serious with a man or a woman, I would want all the attention to be on us, never somebody else. I don't want us to have to split love, split financial, situations. I just don't want to give myself to anybody but the person I'm in love with. And I know people like, why'd you love your kids? Yeah, because I have to now. Now I'm stuck with them. I have to love them. If I didn't love them, this would be a whole nother topic. So let's keep going. So kids, obviously, if you can't tell by now, kids are very strongly in the number one position. The second one, and this is I thought this would go into the shallow category, but it doesn't. And it's because it's for two reasons. So the second regular non-negotiable is if you don't have a place to live or any means of transportation. And what I mean by that is that if you don't live with your parents, if you don't live with a friend, a roommate situation, a grandma, a grandpa, if there is a shelter, if there's no living situation, and I know that that's rare, but it's not. Trust me, it's not. Hey, it's not rare, okay? Hey, some people out here don't have living situations, and I'm not judging, but for me specifically, that would need to be something that you have. And I'm not saying if you don't have a place to live and a car, because you don't need both. I mean, it would be nice to have both, but you don't need both. So if you have one or the other, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? Because one can technically be used as two. I don't know if anybody that's listening had never been homeless, but you're blessed if you haven't. But, a lot of people do know that one can be used for both. So I've been in situations where I've been unknowingly in a relationship or in like a situationship with somebody who didn't have anywhere to stay. And it's better to just be straight up about it, because when the other person finds out, it's just embarrassing for all parties. You know what I mean? Like, the person who's finding out you don't have anywhere to stay doesn't know what to say without being disrespectful or coming across as judgmental. And then, like, the person who really doesn't have anywhere to stay is like, well, why? It's just weird for everybody. So it's better to just say that up front. Personally, I wouldn't date anybody if I didn't have a place to live. But that's just me. People have needs and they do as such. Third non-negotiable is if you've been divorced twice or more. I understand a one-time divorce because some people get married right out of high school. Why? I'm not sure. But some people do. For military, for, if you thought this person was really going to be the person that you spent your life with, some people just do that. Some people love really hard and they're just like, you're going to be with me forever. And then 2 years later, they're like, oh shit, I hate you. But the reason I say two or more is because I usually date up. I'm in my mid to almost late 20s. Oh my gosh. And I usually go for men or women in their 30s, their early 30s. If you've been divorced twice or thrice or twice and you're just 32, that's absolutely crazy to me. You know what I mean? And I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I think that's a little bit scary because you're only 30. So why you be getting, and how long were you with him? Like, how you be getting married that fast? That's crazy to me. No judgment to anybody out there who's 32 right now and has been married 6 times. You do you, boo-boo. I'm not talking about you. You got your special situation going on, and I would never disrespect you like that. I'm just saying, for me personally, that's a little bit more than a red flag. I think that's what's that, surrender flag? I think that's a white flag. I mean, I'm terrified, actually. I don't know. So and I don't think that's shallow. I think that's a very healthy non-negotiable, because, I don't want to be number 4. I really don't even want to be number 1. So y'all know I don't want to get married. So, the fact that you did it 3 times is like, oh, okay. And my 4th non-negotiable, which I think should be on everybody's list of non-negotiables, whether it's 5, 10, 20, is hygiene. I cannot stress to you enough how much hygiene is important to me when I'm looking for a partner, whether it's men or women, because men and women have very specific levels of hygiene that needs to be kept, right? And I don't know if you guys knew this, but I read a book. I don't know if I've mentioned this on previous episodes, but you guys ever say something in your like little group of people, and suddenly you just start seeing it around the world, like you see it in tweets and shows and stuff like that? I'm like, ain't no way everybody read this book the same time did. I read this book randomly, and I started sharing a fact from this book, and now suddenly everybody know this fact from this book. It's crazy. It's word of mouth, I'm telling you. My fact got all the way out in London, and now it's on a shade room. Anyway, back to hygiene. So with hygiene, I read a book it was either called Everyone in America or Inside of America. I can't remember. This was back in like 2020, back when all you could do was read. You know what I mean? In the thick of the pandemic. Even though I do love to read, I was reading hella books during the pandemic. I was like, I need knowledge or weed. I don't know which one I need. I need both, actually. So I read this book, and it was basically like psychoanalyzing Americans, which is very scary because it was very accurate. And in a certain chapter of the book, they started talking about men in America. And one of the passages said that 65% of men in America don't wash the inside of their ass because they have an inferiority complex. Now, I know, ladies, when you just heard me say that, you're immediately thinking, oh, I've heard that on TikTok. They say that on TikTok all the time. Yeah, that's because I read the book in 2020 and I started telling people about it. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be like, I started this. But I'm telling you, nobody past 2020 was talking about how men don't wash their ass until I read this book. Now, I don't know if everybody read the book in 2020, but it was a thick-ass book, all right? It took some dedication to get to that chapter. I was dying. Back to hygiene, though. 65% is every nigga I know. And I'm not being dramatic. 65% is a little too high for me to be comfortable with, just your average man. Like, think about how high 65% is next time you do anything. If you have a couple chips and somebody say, hey, let me get 65% of them chips. Nigga, that's all your chips. You have no more chips left. If you're in a room full of men and somebody else says, I've slept with 65% of men in this room, no matter how many men are in the room, there's only a few men left. You know what I mean? So just imagine next time you're around men, age does not matter. Race does not matter. They made it very specific in this book that race, age, height, none of this mattered. It is men in general in America. 65% of them only wash their outer cheeks because they fear of going anywhere close to the crack is grounds for an existential crisis. And I have never stopped thinking about that since I read that. Now every man I look at has to get judged on if I think he washes the inside of his ass or not. You know what I mean? And is that shallow? Should that have gone into the shallow non-negotiables? Maybe. But you know what? If we're being real, no, it shouldn't. Because no, I don't think wanting to have a clean partner is shallow. You know what I mean? And I don't think that shaming somebody for having poor hygiene is a bad thing. I don't. I know we're in the era of, love yourself and be who you are. Be who you are and wash correctly. You know what I mean? I'm all for self-love. Guys, I've been on my self-love journey since I was born. It's hard out here, but don't make it harder, okay? 65% is crazy to me. 65% is every man that I know. And it's I'm so glad that I'm bisexual, because it really did something for me with men in my head. Like, I was just like, now I don't know what to do with this information. Like, there's some of my homegirls that date men that are a part of the 65%, and I'm so sad for them because they know it. There's no way I could know my man doesn't wash the inside of his ass and everything is just kumbaya. I'm sorry. I just can't get over that. Okay. So those are my 4 regular relationship non-negotiables. Now we're about to get into my shallow relationship non-negotiables. And if you thought the regulars was bad, I don't know what to tell you, all right? These are just things that in the back of my mind I know I shouldn't say, but I just feel them very strongly. And it comes into the forefront when I'm picking a partner very quickly, because I'm just like, these are the things that I know are going to either give me the ick or turn me off very quickly. So even though they might be shallow to say out loud, it's better to check them off the list now, because I'd hate to get, a year in and be like, actually, I hate the way you drive. All right, here we go. Number 1 for my shallow non-negotiables, and this is men or women. Oh my God, my number 1 is people who cannot pronounce words right or cannot spell right. Now, hold on. Please do not click off of this podcast, because I know some people are like, God damn, bitch. What if I got a speech impediment? What if I got a learning disability? Hey, that we can work around, okay? If you have either one of those, that is something that I do not play about, and that is something that you cannot help. How dare I judge you for something you were born with? How dare I judge you for something that's out of your goddamn control? That is not what the hell I'm talking about, okay? Get your damn button off of that stop button, okay? Do not click out of this podcast episode. Hear me out. For people who do not have a speech impediment and people who do not have any type of learning disabilities, if you just do not give a fuck about how words are spelt, and you just don't give a fuck that you're saying words wrong, I can't handle that. I can't handle that, because all I think about is me taking you to a nice restaurant and you try to order something off the menu, and now you make both of us look like we don't know shit. You know what I mean? That's immediately what I think about. And I'm not even one to really care about other people's thoughts and opinions on me. You know what I mean? Look at all the shit I say in this podcast. But it's hard to not care when it's happening in person. You know what I mean? It's easy to be like, oh, I don't care what they say online. You don't know them niggas, right? But it's hard to ignore a judgment when the judgment is happening in your fucking face. Like, I can see these motherfuckers judging me. I can't not care. You know what I mean? So please chill on me. Like, supposedly Valentine's Day, February, mine. Oh my God. Every time I hear somebody say mines, I want to kill myself. Supposedly is probably the worst one. Supposedly really, or Library is crazy. No matter how old you are, no matter where you come from, Library is crazy, because you know damn well you see that second R. You see that second R. That's crazy. And then spelling, I remember I had to stop talking to a girl because y'all know back in the day when you would spell the word you with like Y and 2 U's, shit like that. But that was like back in the MySpace and Facebook days, back in the 2010s, when you just thought that was cool. This girl was like every bit of 21, and see, this is why you don't record in your window. My neighbor's truck just scared the shit out of me. But this girl was every bit of 21, and she would spell words so aggressively, so offensively, and I couldn't ignore it. And I would find myself being that person that when she spelled something wrong, I would like put it back to her like spelled correctly, and she would just ignore it. She wouldn't even like try to make a joke out of it or acknowledge it. She would just keep on spelling it the way she spelled it, and I was like, I can't do this, because I think you think that that's how that word is actually spelled, and that's bothering me. That's bothering me. One of the things when I was young, well, I was still a grown-up, but when I was younger, in my earlier 20s, I used to really want people to write me love letters, because I don't even care about how much you love me. I need to see these fucking words that you spell. Like, I need you to go into great depth and great detail about, I want you to use the biggest words you've ever come across to tell me how much you love me, because, bitch, if you can't spell them right, I'm throwing this letter away. Yeah, it's not my fault, okay? Reading and English were a big part of my childhood and my growing up. I've always been in AP English. Like I tell everybody, y'all know that rapper DDG, how he always has to tell people he was valedictorian? I always have to tell people that I was in a grade higher English all my years of high school. So when I was a freshman, I was in sophomore English. When I was a sophomore, I was in junior English. By senior year, I didn't even have a fucking English class because I finished it. I feel great about that. You know, I was one of them kids that used to read in front of the principal for the Scholastic book fair, had hella tokens. The bitch walked out with every book she wanted. Junie B. Jones, Cam Jansen, The Spy Girl. Come on now. I walked out with everything. I had everything. All the pencils, all the pens, all the cheesecake colored, smelling markers. Your girl had everything. Okay. So reading and comprehension is very important to me because it's just, I can't. You see why this is on the shallow list? It's just some people don't care. I care a great deal. That's all I got to say. Okay. My second shallow non-negotiable for relationships would have to be volume. And just presence in general. This falls more for men than it does women, but it is included with women. I like a very quiet man. I love a quiet woman. I do not want that man or woman to walk in and everybody knows their presence is there. And I know that's weird to say because I know most women want their man to be like that guy or, when he walks into the room, everybody's like, oh, shit. Jimmy's here. Tyler's here. Jerome is here. It's finna go up. My nigga's here. He made it. It's about to be a movie since he here. I want to be further from that nigga than anybody else at the party. You know what I mean? I want my dude or my woman when he or she walks in or they walk in, I want it to be a silent dap up. What's going on, Brody? Where the drinks at? All right, cool. It's lit. I want it to be such a low key thing that nobody even remembers his ass was at the party. You know what I mean? He has his specific group of friends. He don't know everybody. You know what I mean? She dances with me and only me and maybe her friends. You know what I mean? I hate a life of the party ass nigga or bitch. I just can't do that because I'm not that. And I know opposites attract, but that would not attract me. That would give me the ick so bad because I'm just like, If everybody can see in you what I like in you, I don't want that. If everybody loves you just as much as I do, then that's going to make me feel like you don't need my love. Because I didn't do that when you walked in my house. I didn't go, oh, babe's here. Babe's here. Oh, shit, we about to have a time. I just was like, hey, babe, what's up? By the way, I don't say babe. So that was strictly for this podcast. I have never called any of my relationships babe, baby, or none of that. I'm calling you by your goddamn name. I don't know why. I just don't. But you know what I mean? If I didn't give you all that, if I didn't give you that when you walked in, and everybody in this goddamn house is giving you that, it's gonna make me feel like not only is mine. You know what I mean? Y'all know what I'm trying to say? I can't handle that. So I need a very low key dude or girl. Social media presence isn't that great. I've had, people slide into my DMs, and as soon as I see a K by the follower amount, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this with you. I can't. Too many people for me. I'm sorry. And I know that that's very shallow, and I know that people's social media presence isn't supposed to have a direct effect on what type of person they are, but it does to me. It does to me, especially in 2023. It really does now. You know what I mean? Especially if you've earned those amount of followers, because of something that you do or your presence or, something that, I don't know. I can't do it. I need a man or a woman with like 32 followers and they have like 5 pictures. And one thing that I hate, and I know every woman listening to this is about to know exactly what I'm about to say. There is nothing worse than being with a man or a woman and you're scrolling on Instagram, you're scrolling on TikTok, I don't have Twitter, but you're scrolling on Twitter and you see your nigga in the comments. It's just like, oh my God. Or like Happy G-Day Brody to a rapper they have no affiliation with. Or like arguing with somebody in the shade room comments. That, oh my gosh, that makes me want to throw up. That makes me want to projectile vomit. Because what are you doing? What are you doing? That can't be my man. He got hacked. Somebody has to be using his profile to be doing this bullshit ass comment arguing. Like, I can't. So anybody that has a very strong presence is just not for me. I can't. And I don't want a shy dude. I don't want like somebody who's like insecure. I'd be insecure for the both of us. I don't need somebody like that. I just need somebody with a quiet, stern attitude. I want a really old school man, minus the beating and the cheating. You know what I mean? Like a man from like that man's man from like the 60s. Y'all know what I'm talking about? That man where when a woman enters the room, they take off their hat, They stand up so the woman can sit down. They know how to build a kitchen. I've said this all before. I just need that quiet, oh, there go Charlie. Oh, there go Demetrius. You know what I mean? There you go. A nigga that you got to whisper about. You know what I mean? That's the kind of man I want. I hate that. Oh, my nigga. I can't do that. Like, perfect example. I don't go to clubs. I know y'all waiting for me to get to number 3. I'm sorry. I've been waiting to talk about this. If we go out to a club, right? I don't go to clubs, but let's say we go to a club that has like bottle girls, there's sections, there's a DJ. If my man walks or my girl walks into the club and the DJ immediately knows who that person is, I can't do it. I don't know how y'all strong enough to do this. I can't do it. That would make me want to turn around and leave. Cause like he didn't even say, Bob and his girl. He said, oh, there go my nigga Bob. It's finna get lit. Give him a bottle. I'm right behind him. I'm right behind her. Y'all see me? All right, cool. Bob, you had the night you supposed to have. I guess I'm going to go home and play with the dogs. I don't know. Okay, let's get to number 3. Number 3, and I think this is my last one. For my shallow relationship non-negotiables. And I know you lot are about to roll your eyes. But this is very important to me. It is. I know you guys are going to be like, girl, be fucking for real. But it is. I can't deal with it any other way. If my significant other does not like animals, I'm not going to be able to do it, y'all. I'm not going to be able to do it. And I know that sounds crazy because it's just like, out of all the things you could have said, that's why it's shallow. Because there's so many other things I could have said. But y'all, I love animals so much. I'm not afraid of any animal. I will go pet a fucking crocodile. I am not afraid of, I love animals so much. I love animals more than I love goddamn people. So there are like ways around it though. Like if the person just doesn't like a specific animal, like I know people who don't like dogs. Why is crazy. But I know that people have traumatic childhoods. They got bit by a dog, chased by a dog. Hell, I've got all of those. So I do understand that some people are just afraid. If you don't like every animal, like if you just don't like any animal, that I can't even mentally register how you could do that. Like how? Like how do you not like puppies, kittens? Like how do you not like cows? Like what the fuck? I don't know how to understand that. So, and I always want to be around animals. Whenever I travel or whenever I go out of the country, I always make sure I do something with animals, whether it's go to a farm, like a wildlife, petting zoo, something. I make sure I'm in, or I go walk on a trail where there's just natural wildlife living, you know what I mean? Or I don't know. I just have to do something with animals because animals make me happy. And if I'm with a partner that we're trying to go to Italy and see the fucking alpaca farm, and he's like, yeah, I don't fuck with animals like that. I don't like being outside and shit like that. I'm gonna be like, oh, motherfucker, you gotta go then. You know what I mean? That's just one of my non-negotiables that I don't think I'd be able to look past, because animals are they play such a vital source in my life that if I couldn't share that with the person that also makes me happy, then it's just like the two are now butting heads against each other. And I'm sorry, brother, but I'm choosing the animals. You the one that gotta go. These creatures have been providing me happiness since I've been born. Motherfucker, I've only known you for 2 years. You know what I mean? You gotta go. I know that sounds crazy, but hey, you could piss me off. This could not work out. I don't gotta worry about that with a couple cows and chickens. You know what I mean? They just out here living. They don't provide me no harm. They don't have no malicious intents. They just out here living and doing what they do. So it's got to be you. I'm sorry. The math is actually mathing very well. It has to be you. I'm sorry. You got to go. Oh my gosh. And I just thought about a fourth one, even though it should have went in the regular. So this isn't shallow. This is something that I'm really, really like serious about. And I get really defensive about it. So, but I'll just call it my shallow non-negotiable, because some people can agree to disagree on certain shit. I can't. Unfortunately, I'm not that emotionally mature. So anybody who doesn't respect the LGBTQ plus community, it really bothers me on a whole nother level. And the reason I know it bothers me on a whole nother level is because as you guys know, I've been working on my anger expression and stuff like that. But at work a couple weeks ago, I had it presented to me by somebody that I work with that I like. Not like that, but that I enjoy being in their company. And the person just straight up told me they were homophobic. Now, everybody who has ever met me, within the first 15 minutes of meeting me, you know that I am bisexual as fuck. You know that I love women, I love men. And so to have this person that I enjoy being around straight up tell me that they were homophobic with a smile on their face, it made me retract like a motherfucker. I was like, I've never even... first of all, how you can say that sentence with a smile on your face, like I'm talking about showing all 32 fucking teeth, the bicuspids and everything. Like, how you can even say that sentence with a smile on your face is fucking disgusting. And then how you could say that sentence to me knowing that I'm bisexual is out of this fucking world. You know what I mean? And then the person kept saying, it's against my religion. It's against my religion. All right. And you know me, I don't religion shame. But there is a fine line between practicing your religion and being an asshole. You know what I mean? And you guys can take that any way you want. If you're agreeing with the person that I had this conversation with, well, it is against your religion, then let it be against your religion without saying it to the person that you know you're going to offend, right? And I try not to be offended when I hear shit like that, but I can't be because I'm a part of it. So you're basically, I'm not trying to get damned to hell in a regular conversation with somebody that I thought was my friend. You know what I mean? Like, let's just save what the fuck is against your religion to the conversation we actually have about that. We weren't even talking about religion. You just decided to offend me for no fucking reason. So in a partner, it would take the slightest bit of homophobia for me to just go the fuck off. And the reason why I said I was practicing my anger aggression is because I try not to get so mad when things get me upset that I'm passionate about. I try not to cuss people out. I try not to want to fight. I just try not to do that anymore because I can't. It's time to grow up. Even though I didn't do it often, but get me mad enough and I might slap the shit out you. So I just walked away from that conversation. But as I was walking away, I was like, if this person was my significant other, there's no way I would be able to walk away. I'm only walking away because we're at work. We got these uniforms on and shit. I have to. In order for this not to end in one of us losing our jobs, I have to walk away. If that person was my woman or my husband, if it was my woman, that'd be crazy, right? Like, bitch, do you not realize the relationship you're in now? But let's just say for this example, it was my man. The slightest bit of homophobia would really send me over the edge. And it's because before we even got to the stage of us being each other's person, that conversation would have had to come up numerous times. And I mean numerous fucking times. So now I'm thinking that you slid some homophobia past my eyesight and shit. And now I got to start psychoanalyzing everything about your personality to see if you really homophobic and you just been lying to a bitch, and I've just been so tee in the fucking clouds about you that I ignored it or I didn't see it. That's going to make me end the relationship. And I might put my hands on you. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that I will, but I'm saying it's a possibility. I hate shit like that. It's 2023. I know the year doesn't matter, but the involvement and the fucking trauma and all of that matters. The years of what it's taken to be comfortable in who you are. It's just too fucking much for y'all to out here openly being homophobic. Like, I can't. And I'm not going to accept that from somebody that I'm supposed to call my person. All right, guys. I know that was a little rant, but that is it for my non-negotiables, my shallow and regular relationship non-negotiables. Next episode, we're going to do my shallow and regular non-negotiables for platonic relationships, because that list is longer, let me tell you. So, like I said, if you're listening, find a comment section of mine, YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or TikTok, and tell me your shallow and regular non-negotiable for your romantic relationships. All right, guys. Next, I want to do a little thought of today. This episode is going to be long as hell, so I hope you're listening on like your drive to work or while you're in the gym. But my next topic, I wanted to be a thought of the day, because I was recently on vacation this weekend, and I was watching some Disney movies. I don't smoke anymore, so my way of relaxation is having a drink and watching Disney movies. Usually it would be having a blunt and but I don't do that anymore, so I had to make myself some whiskey and pop in a Disney movie or two so I could relax. And it made me think a lot about the representation I had through Disney growing up. I don't know if you guys were Disney kids. I know some of you were Cartoon Network kids, even though I was, or Nickelodeon kids. I was not. But I was strictly Cartoon Network and Disney Channel. And I was thinking about the representation I had as a child in these, channels. And I was like, I didn't really have a lot. So I was watching my favorite movie, one of my favorite movies, I should say, which is Maleficent. I love Maleficent so much. I think Maleficent is my favorite villain of all time, which I don't really think she's a villain. I just think she, acted accordingly, and it just a little backfired, but that happens to everybody. And as I was watching Maleficent, I was thinking, like, I wish that Maleficent was black, because if you pay attention to her story, or if you know the story of Maleficent and, Sleeping Beauty, Maleficent would make so much more sense if she was black. You know what I mean? I know all the black women are like, bitch, you're right. But listen, if you're not black and you listen to this, or if you haven't seen Maleficent, let me just break it down for you. So Maleficent is a fae, kind of like a fairy, but bigger and more powerful. She's the dark fae, which means she had stronger or more powers than the other fays. So she was the ruler of this kingdom, the Moors and beyond, right? So, by the way, I'm strictly doing the Disneyverse, and I know there's about to be a Maleficent head in here, like, actually, I'm doing the Disney movie, version. So relax. Never seen any people before. There was a kingdom right outside the Moors that she ruled, and they wanted to steal stuff from there. I mean, they had all types of gems in the pond. They had all types of magical flowers, magical creatures, and people from the kingdom just wanted to steal it. Not like they had enough fucking money running the kingdom, but I guess they wanted more. So they would always try to send people out to steal and take it back to the kingdom, but people would never return. They die and stuff like that, right? So Maleficent was a kid, and she had never saw a person before. Long story short, saw a dude, thought he was cute, made him return what he stole, and basically he was like, I'll come back, because you cooler than I thought you would be. I ain't know you was gonna let me live like that, so I'm gonna come back and we gonna be friends. She was like, all right, bet, you kind of cute, I don't mind, just you know the way to get here. You got here the first time, you know how to get here the second time. So they was like, all right, cool. He came back. Boom. They was basically like little girlfriend, boyfriend. Had a little thing going on. And I can't remember if he came back one more time, or the first time he left, she was just waiting for him to come back, and then he never did come back. Like, because he was training to be like a soldier for the fucking king. I don't know. I can't remember. But basically, she was waiting for him to come back. She didn't grew old. No, well, not old, but older than a child. And I guess the king sent out his men to go, I guess, take down the Moors. And she was like, hey, y'all can't do this. And he was like, I'm king. She like, nigga, you ain't no king to me, bitch. I'm the queen of these Moors. You're not coming in here. So she went, they retreat and stuff like that. Now, King about to die. King is like, hey, I need somebody to avenge me. That bitch with the black wings got to go. I need everything. I need them gems. I need them little fuzzy talking creatures, and I need them fairies. I need somebody, anybody that's man enough to go handle that shit. Because I'm dying. That's for damn sure. I'm finna die in this bed. But who of you is going to avenge me, right? So now homeboy, that new Maleficent, he all grown up. And for some reason, he take on this responsibility of, I'm going to avenge my king. Why? Don't know. Why? I don't know. So, him being him, he's like, well, I know how to get there. She going to let me in before she kill me because, you know, that we kind of got a little, that's my little boo thing. You know, she missed me. I know she missed me. I'm going to slide up in there and be like, hey, girl, it's been a while. What's up? So he does just that. He walk up in there. Maleficent's like, nice to see you. Ain't seen you in 10 years. That must be nice. Being one of the king's little gestures and shit. He go, baby, I'm sorry. I've been busy. But I've been thinking about you every day. You know? I've been wanting to come back, but I just couldn't. The kingdom is different from 10 years ago. You know, I got to earn my spot. But I've been thinking about you. And I only want you. You know? Let's just cuddle and look at the stars like we did when we was kids. Okay? Let's put the 10 years of us not seeing each other behind us. And let's really just focus on tonight. I love you. And I know you love me. Let's just be here together. So Maleficent go, tee-hee, okay. She just forget all of the trauma. She go, okay. So Maleficent, about to fall asleep, he just randomly tells her that she's thirsty. This bitch don't even cough or nothing. Not a dry throat in sight. And he's just like, you're thirsty, drink this. And she's just like, okay. And drinks it. And he like poisons her or knocks her ass out long enough and strong enough to cut her goddamn wings off. Now let me repeat it, just in case you never seen the movie or you didn't hear what I just said. He cut her goddamn wings off. He cut them off. And then left without saying anything. Cut her wings off and dipped. So Maleficent wake up. How many hours later? We don't know. Because he done knocked her ass out. She wake up expecting to roll over to a spoon or some cuddles. Or a man. And this motherfucker gone. Now she wondering, oh, my back gonna hurt. She go to touch her wings. Both of them gone. She starts screaming. She starts screaming her ass off. Where the fuck are my wings? And where's my man? I don't understand what's happening. I just woke up. So homeboy, you know, doing what he do. He take the wings to the king. It's like, my king, I've avenged you. That bitch is down. I got your back. Naturally, the king dies, makes him king, right? Maleficent got to use a cane now because the bitch don't know how. She never had her wings ripped off her back before, so she don't really know how to walk without them. So now she got to use a cane. She wondering where she can even go. You know, she trying to learn the ground now because she usually just flies everywhere. She see a little bird about to get eaten. He getting trapped. She turned the bird into a person. She go, hey, you're my sidekick now. I need you to be my wings because, bitch, I can't fly no more, and I need to know why. So she sent Diaval to the captain, to the castle. And Diaval's like, hey, that nigga you told me to look out for, it's looking like my man's is king. You know? It's looking like he ain't just some regular motherfucker. He is king. I mean, that's what I saw. So now Maleficent is mad. She was like, oh, king. Oh, okay, he's king now. Okay, so you ripped off my wings to be king. Okay, I got it. Okay, I got it. All right. And this part is why I wanted her to be a black woman so bad. Because she went off. I'm not gonna lie, she went off. But she waited. She waited until the king had a baby. And was like, yeah. This is where I make my grand entrance. I've been mad for years, nigga. This night is the night. She waited until she had a baby. And I think they were doing like the baby's christening or something. She walked up in there and was like, no invite, nigga? You didn't want to invite me? I'm the whole reason you in this chair right now. But don't worry about that. I got a gift for baby girl too. And he's like, we don't want your gift. She's like, no. I know you want the gift. Trust me. She gonna be beautiful. She gonna be this. She gonna be that. Then she goes, but she will also. And curses this baby with the most random but brilliant curse. I've ever heard of in my life. On her 16th birthday. You know what I mean? Just basically killing her, but not killing her. She will sleep for all eternity unless she finds true love's first kiss. And you know that that's what homeboy said to Maleficent when he kissed her. It's true love's kiss. So in her mind, she playing with him. Like, yeah, that kiss you gave me, that's the kiss that's going to wake your daughter up. Oh, you were lying? Oh, you said true love's kiss don't? Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Good night. And that is just, I don't know. It just gave black woman to me. It just gave like, I've been waiting. This revenge. I don't care what they say. This revenge is hot. And I love it. You know what I mean? It gave attitude. It gave sitting and waiting for the right moment to strike. And I love that. That's why I wish she was black, because I was just like, ooh, I love this. And homeboy was losing his mind. He was like, lock her up in the shelter. Don't let her go outside until her 16th birthday. We'll find somebody to kiss her. Like, he was losing his shit to the point where his wife, the queen, was just like, I don't think I want to be with him anymore. He's kind of scaring me. Now it backfired on Maleficent, because Maleficent tried real hard to hate that baby. She called it ugly and everything. She was like, I hate every single one of y'all. Never liked children. Get away from me. You know? But part of the curse was that everybody who interacts with her loves her. You know, she was beautiful. And apparently Maleficent forgot to take herself out of that spell. So naturally she, fell in love with her. And now Maleficent feels like she's her mom. She's like, damn, you don't even know for real that I cursed the hell out you when you were like 3 days old, baby girl. And I am sorry. I am truly sorry. But there's nothing I could do about it, because I specifically made the curse so strong that I couldn't take it back. So now we're in a bit of a pickle, and I don't know how to fix it. It was fixed, long story short. Sleeping Beauty ended up staying there with Maleficent and the Moors. But that story is just like, I really wish that was a story that was made by a black woman, because, or portrayed by a black woman, because I feel like black women go through similar things on a regular basis. Platonic, romantic shit in society. I just feel like we have so much revenge to give that we can't give it because of the fear of it backfiring, So that's why I just wish Maleficent was black. Okay, guys, that's the end of the episode. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We are on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and your girl's on TikTok. Let's make this podcast the podcast. Okay, y'all? I want to hear you talk about it in the streets. 5 stars if you're feeling frisky, and 5 stars even if you're not. All the beautiful music in this episode is by the amazing Zoe Marie. Zoe's music can be found on all streaming platforms, so please go listen and love it just like I do. And I'll see you guys in the next episode.